A major earthquake, 7.5, was 375 times worse than a smaller earthquake. So is the magnitude of the smaller earthquake bigger or smaller than 7.5? It should be smaller. Lower numbers on the Richter scale, as you would suspect, correspond to wimpier earthquakes. So the numbers should be less. It should be a 6 or a 5 or something like that. Now, if we use this formula, I'll do it with my formula. Amplitude equals 10 to the Richter difference. And then I'll work it out with this one, and you'll see that they give the same result. The amplitude difference is 375 equals 10 to the, I'm just going to use RD for Richter difference, so I don't have to write it out every time. How do we solve for the Richter difference? Log both sides. When you do that, you can bring RD down, and you get log 375 equals the Richter difference times log 10. And now you divide both sides by log 10, and you get the Richter difference for these two quakes would be log 375 divided by log 10, which is 2.57. These two earthquakes are, they just said one decimal place, so I'll actually make it 2.6. These quakes are 2.6 apart on the Richter scale. Now, the reason they asked for part A is that you now have to make a decision. If this big quake was a 7.5, do we add 2.6 and say that the little quake was a 10.1? Or do we subtract 2.6 and say that the little quake was a 4.9? Well, smaller numbers go with smaller quakes. The smaller quake should be a 4.9. 10.1s have never been recorded. We think there may have been some in prehistory, but since we've had seismic instruments, we've never seen anything quite this bad. So that's one good reason to think it wasn't a 10.1. The other is smaller earthquakes on the Richter scale make sense, get smaller numbers.